We've been a leader in banking for more than 100 years. You'll find us here, at home, on your phone, and everywhere you go. Renaissance Bank. Understanding you. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi. This is Newsbreak for Friday, March 10th. I'm Brad Locke. Thanks for joining us. You can catch Newsbreak each Monday through Friday. You can watch it at djournal.com, Facebook, YouTube, or the Daily Journal's mobile apps for Apple and Android devices. Let's take a quick look now at news, sports, and weather in Northeast Mississippi. Let's start with the Weather Underground forecast for today. Partly cloudy skies, high of 62 degrees, low of 35, a 10% chance of rain. The 3-day outlook: Saturday, clear skies, a high of 59, low of 32. 20% chance of rain. Sunday, partly cloudy skies, a high of 57, a low of 33, and a 10% chance of rain. And then Monday, overcast with a high of 62, a low of 38, and a 20% chance of rain. Let's take a look now at some of the top stories from the Daily Journal and djournal.com on this Friday. The Senate leadership broke with the House on Thursday and opted to fund kindergarten through 12th grade education for next school year. The House had been planning to wait for an anticipated special session, possibly within the regular session, to provide funds for the local school districts. Speaker Philip Gunn had said it would make more sense to couple education funding with the legislature's ongoing effort to rewrite the state's education funding formula. Those efforts stalled earlier this session when lawmakers could not reach a consensus. On Thursday, the Senate Appropriations Committee passed a bill to fund the Mississippi Adequate Education Program at $2.24 billion, which is level funding and is about $175 million less than full funding. Senate Education Chair Gray Tollison said the Senate leadership opted not to wait until a special session to fund the MAEP because any formula rewrite would have, quote, minimum impact on the upcoming school year. The education budget will not be resolved until the final days of the session in late March, when the legislature is slated to vote on the overall budget. The House leadership made a new effort on Thursday to find funding for the state's transportation needs. The legislation would generate between $50 million and $70 million annually to repair roads and bridges at the state and local level. It would also provide $50 million in bonds to pay for repairs to local bridges. The bill passed the House by a margin of 109 votes to 7. It would divert money from a 7% tax on items sold by online retailers to be used for road and bridge needs. The proposal would not force the internet retailers to collect the tax for the state, but through the efforts of the Mississippi Department of Revenue, about 30 online retailers are voluntarily collecting the tax for the state. Under current law, that money goes to the general fund. The House plan would divert 50% of those funds each year to the Mississippi Department of Transportation and 25% each to cities and counties. It would also require MDOT to find $25 million in savings and divert that to infrastructure needs. The bill now goes to the Senate. Hundreds of Tupelo High School students gathered in the school's courtyard Thursday morning to honor classmate Sydney Alford, who died earlier this week. A prayer vigil was led by the THS chapter of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and students spent time praying, reading scripture, and sharing comforting words. Alford, a junior at Tupelo High and a member of the marching band, died Wednesday at North Mississippi Medical Center. THS band director Rick Murphy described her as dependable, hardworking, and positive. Braden Bishop, a broadcast journalism teacher, said in his 8 years at the school, there have been few occasions where he has seen the student body come together the way it did Thursday. With many students grieving, THS principal Jason Harris said he has encouraged them to continue to support each other. Services for Alford will be Sunday at 2 p.m. at Hope Church. Visitation will be Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 1:30 p.m. until service time at the church. Burial will follow at Itawamba Memorial Gardens. And in sports, Kurt Fowler built the Blue Mountain College baseball program from the ground up, and now he has a field to call his own. The Toppers will christen their new facility today when they host Martin Methodist in a doubleheader starting at noon. Fowler is the only baseball coach Blue Mountain has known. He's in his 8th season, coming on board when the college began increasing its athletic footprint. Work on the baseball complex began years ago, then stalled until the college's president and board provided the final push, which began last summer. The field sits just north of the campus. The Toppers have only been able to practice on it since Monday, and Fowler said his players are eager to break it in today. The facility includes 3 buildings, a concession stand, plus 2 press boxes. Each dugout includes a separate team room. That's it for Newsbreak today. Before we go, we do want to ask you to check out our basketball bracket contest online for 3 chances to win the North Mississippi Sports Medicine March Fever. To play, just log on to djournal.com/March Fever. We also want to remind you to check out one of the podcasts we produce here at the Daily Journal, The Memo, all things Northeast Mississippi news and entertainment with myself and W. Derek Russell. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Find them in iTunes, your podcast apps, or at memo.djournal.com. In today's episode, we'll have Scott Morris on to offer his review of the new X-Men movie, Logan. Also, Jenna Parsons talks about the food section from this week, and Derek tells us what's going on in the local entertainment scene. All the stories I talked about today you can find in your Daily Journal or at djournal.com. We're on Twitter at djournalnow, and find us on Facebook as well. That's it for Newsbreak on this Friday. I'm Brad Locke. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll see you next time.